Okay. Hi, my name is Brooksie Isham, and I'm from the graduating class of 2023.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Today's conversation with Brooksie is brought to us in part through the ongoing support of 2008 graduate Matt Cox and his company, Saucetown Properties. If you or anyone you know have a house you want to sell but don't feel like dealing with the hassle of doing repairs or hiring a realtor, go to saucetownproperties.net to get a fair cash offer today. And today we are joined in person by 2023 Saxon graduate Brooksie Isham. Brooksie's Saxon years were full of her time on the volleyball, basketball, and track teams, as well as in our ASL program and so many of our classes, and getting to see her mom on a daily basis here in the counseling office. Shout out to Mrs. Isham. Brooksie was a district champion and state qualifier in track and field and volleyball, the latter in which led her to admission to the United States Air Force Academy, where she now studies and plays D1 volleyball. In her years since graduating South, Brooksie's graduated from 2 boot camps, learned how to fly an airplane, completed combat survival training, toured the Pentagon, and is now majoring in behavioral science with a focus in sociology. She's back in town for the winter break, and we're so pumped to have her here today in the spotlight. Brooksie, welcome to that spotlight. How is it being home after the fall season and a summer full of training?
It's been good. It's really good to finally just come home, relax, have a home cooked meal because you don't get a lot of those at school. But it's been really good.
Good. And how long are you home for?
Till January 2nd, so 18 days.
Okay, and lots of rest, recovery.
Recovery, all the above.
Okay, well, we can't wait to hear about that, but take us back to your Saxon years. What do you remember about being a South Salem student?
Yeah, I loved being a student here at South. I made a lot of my really good friends, and I still keep in touch with some of them. Like, I keep in touch with Maya Fry, Gracie Marshall, the Mathis sisters all the time. So we text, and so made some good connections there. I love playing sports like volleyball, basketball, track was a good one. So just like playing all those sports and being a part of that was super cool. So
Yeah, what do you remember about being part of those teams? I know you guys had a lot of success, went to state and multiple sports. What are those memories?
Yeah, for volleyball, I'll start with that one. So now I play Division One volleyball, which is really great, and Matt Lakety was a huge part of getting me there and playing at Saxon volleyball. So a cool memory from that is Kaylee Carpenter. She went to Boise State to play volleyball, and so my freshman and sophomore year, when we saw each other, played each other in conference, it was like, oh my gosh, here's a friend from high school that we get to play with. So, but just being part of that team, it was great. Had really good teammates. Mackenzie Scott, she's over playing softball in Colorado, so I connect with her every now and then. And yeah, and then basketball, I only played it my freshman year. I mean, I've played it since I was a kid, and it was a great time, but I wanted to kind of turn my focus to club volleyball, which is more of a like winter and spring sport. So I did that, and then ran track all 4 years, and that was great. I ran all the races, did all the things that were really fun and I wanted to do. So it was fun to explore those, and I got to do them.
I hear that you've been recruited for the track team at Air Force Academy too, although you didn't shut them down every time. But
Yeah. It's fun just being able to not be a one-trick pony over there. It's like you can do a whole bunch of different things, and so I kind of like having that in my toolbox of things. So
you come from an athletic family. Tell us, who is the most athletic Isham?
I'd like to say myself, but I also want to say that my brother's pretty athletic. He's a really good basketball player, and
He's
then
making a name for himself now.
he is over
school.
at Sprague. So, and then I mean, my mom played college volleyball, so
Yes, and basketball too,
and
right?
basketball
Yeah, two
comes from
sport
her.
athlete. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did your dad play at all?
I don't think so. He
Okay.
went straight into the Coast Guard right out of high school.
right.
So he went there and then became a cop. So
Yeah.
not much college sports for him, but it's okay.
How about classes here at South? What do you remember about this high school and the teachers?
Yeah. I was always busy here, like in high school. Like compared to my brother, he's like, oh, I have a couple release periods here and there. And I'm like, dude, I was busy like with teachers and like, yeah. So I really liked classes here a lot. I'd say one of my favorites was sign language with Mr. Rolfness and IB Chem with Mr. Knoll. Just his jokes in class were fun. And so, but I was busy. I think I filled up my schedule a lot just doing a bunch of different things. I took a lot of PE classes with Coach Lake D, like net sports and weights, and that was kind of like my fun period that I got. So, and then I did some IB classes like the chem, and then I remember taking, and then I had like the history and the English and all the basic core classes, but I was always busy.
How much for you personally was that your individual drive, and how much was it the fact that you had mom here looking over your shoulder, pushing you?
Coming in here freshman year, I kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do. And so I was just like, I want to give myself like the best opportunity I can to like do good and get good grades and all that kind of stuff. And so I kind of wanted to start out strong and kind of give myself the best chances of any like scholarships I could get. And then end of sophomore, beginning of junior, when I started getting recruited for sports, and then the academy came and recruited me. And then like I found out, oh my gosh, I have to take these classes and I have to get good grades for them. So like I'm already in a good spot. So I already started good. And so I wanted to finish good too. And so, because finding out I had to do good on like an SAT and ACT versus like, oh, just having an okay GPA, like, no, you had to have like a good GPA to get in there. So it was mainly my own drive to start, but then having my mom here to help kind of like guide me into, okay, here's some classes you should take based on knowing the teachers, knowing the course and all that kind of stuff. That really helped a lot.
Yeah,
So,
it was so great to watch her be a mom, as a colleague, and to see you grow and develop those 4 years. Talk about the recruitment process. How was it different being recruited by the academy versus some of the other schools that were looking at you to come play volleyball?
Yeah, so I'll say the academy versus Texas A&M down in Corpus Christi, they were another big one I was looking at. The difference between the two was it was a like night and day difference because down at Texas it was like, oh, you need a minimum 3.0 GPA, like the practices, like to me they weren't as like hardcore, they were pretty like lax.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, oh, you kind of live by the beach a little bit and like do these things. It was just all like super chill, whereas the academy it's like, okay, we want you to come play here, like these are the things you can do with your life. And they laid it all out in like an itinerary for me when I went on my visit of like, we get to go see the airfield. I remember sitting down with the coaches in their office and they had a spreadsheet of, okay, these are the classes you would take and these are the grades you need to meet and like all these things
Oh my
based on
gosh.
your high school grades now. We think you can get there. And like your test scores, like I went to the prep school because my math score on those like SAT tests weren't the best. And so they're like, okay, like your math score could improve. So you got to work on that. I think I took the ACT 5 times just to try and improve that score. And it improved every time, but not enough to fully get there.
Yeah.
But it was just like they laid it all out for me. And it was just so like on the dot of just everything that they need and want from me. And I knew exactly what it was. And so I had really good like goals to meet, check boxes almost in the academy
Yeah.
application, and then also just getting recruited there because that application is a beast in itself. So
Oh, no doubt. You mentioned boot camp twice. Is that normal to go through it
No.
twice? Okay. Or is that part of the prep school you had to do it
that's
for that?
part, yeah, that's
Okay.
from the prep school. So they have their own basic training. It's called BMT, which is basic military training, which is what all the enlisted folk go through. And then BCT is basic cadet training. So that's the one that's run by the cadets at the academy. So it's like a junior or senior yelling at the incoming freshmen to do their job. And but the one at the prep school, since it's basic military training, the MTIs were there, like the people with like the scary hats and they're tilted down and the raspy voice. So they were all there, and it was run by some ROTC kids, some cadets. And so, but yeah, I did 2. I know some people who've done 3. They did the prior enlisted and then the prep school and then the academy. So
Okay. What was your experience like at boot camp? How'd you survive?
the first one, it was really, really hard because that was my first time ever being away from home. And like your parents drive up, you get out the car, there's no really goodbyes or anything. You just drive up, get out the car, and they drive away. And that's your goodbye. And then they're being super nice to you at first, like getting you your paperwork, getting you like, it's called onboarding.
Yeah.
So getting you just going for the day. And then you hit like, you pass these, I remember I passed these gates and I was kind of just strolling with all my bags on me and everything if I needed of my uniforms. And I passed these gates and there's just a line of MTIs there and they all just start yelling at me, like telling me to run. And so then that's when it really like clicked. I'm like, oh crap, I'm here.
Yeah.
Like
It's real.
it's real.
Yeah.
And so, and that first day, like you're just learning all the things of, okay, stand at attention. It's yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, like all those things. We have 7 basic responses that we have to know, like, no excuse, sir. And so you kind of gotta go through that, learning all the things really quickly, and
Mm.
then just be okay with being yelled at. But it took a little bit to get there because it's not normal. Like,
No.
you do all the right things, and then they're like still yelling at you. And so it was hard for sure the first 72 hours. That and also, like, just the meals
Mm.
also. It was like you had 10 minutes to eat, you had to sit at the position of attention, you couldn't talk. Not talking to anybody for, like, a week straight was really hard for me because I've talked to a lot of people and I
Yeah.
like talking to people,
Right.
so the only person I could talk to was my roommate, but
Mm.
she was kinda, like, shy and didn't wanna talk, and so then yeah, it was hard not talking to people, but once I got to talk to people and make friends, it made it a lot easier to go through it together. So, because we all kinda just would look at each other and not really be allowed to say anything, so
Mm.
it's kinda weird,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Oh, I can't imagine. And how long was that first camp?
The first one was 3.5 to 4 weeks, and then the second one was 6 to 6.5 weeks. The second one was a lot easier just because from the prep school, I knew what I was doing. They had the footprints, so it's like you get off the bus at the academy and they're yelling at you with your bags and you stand on the footprints, and then some upperclassman is up there yelling like, "You joined my United States Air Force," and then they dismiss the cadre, and there's like 40 of them that just swarm you, just yelling at you, and you're standing there, and you're just, "Oh my god, what's going on?" And then you're freaking out because they're yelling at you and everything, and then you're trying to remember the 7 basic responses that you, like, tried to learn beforehand, but so I didn't struggle with that because I knew them already, and I did it
Right.
for a year. So that was pretty good. And then we have Jack's Valley. That's like the second half of basic training where we go live in, it's called a Connex, and
Mm.
there's like 12 to 14 just cots and like chests in there that you live out of. You're kind of like living in the dirt basically for a couple weeks. But we go, it's called the assault course, the obstacle course, and the assault course, it took me 3 hours to go through it. And then there's like fake gunfire and fake bombs going
Mhm.
off and just people yelling at you all the time. And you had to run the whole time. And so that one was a lot more fun just because like it was something active rather than just like standing there at attention and marching around places. Once you do that for 2.5 weeks, then you come back up to the hill and you have one more week of just, okay, let's prep for the school year, and then you graduate basic, and it's called A-Day, it's acceptance day, where
Mm.
we're finally accepted into the cadet wing, because until then we're really not accepted. We're still basic cadets, and so that was a big moment.
I would imagine it's got to be a huge moment, especially being separated from your friends and your family, the people
Yeah.
that are closest to you, who have been
Mhm.
your anchors, your supports. How was that experience to you? Was there ever a moment where it was like, what did I get myself into?
That first day at the prep school basic, I have it in a letter actually. I can read it if you want.
Yeah,
But
please.
yeah, day 1. Okay, dear mom and dad, I'm totally bawling right now. Those letters were exactly what I needed because all the parents, right as they drop you off, go to like a section and they write you a letter that they give you on the first night. Like,
Oof.
good job, sweetie, you can do it. I'm so proud of you. And then like you're gone from your parents for a day and you're just like, oh my God, what did I do? I'm not going to get to see them for so long. So that's what those letters were. Those letters were exactly what I needed to remind me of why I'm here. I'm not going to lie, this was way harder than I thought mentally. We haven't started PT yet, which I think we start on Monday. I'm not going to lie, these last 48 hours have broken beat me down so hard, and we can't talk during meals, and we only have 10 minutes to eat. And I never feel good afterwards because it's a lot of food to get down in 10 minutes. But in these letters, I think literally right here, I circled, like I was crying while writing this because it was my
Oh,
first letter, and
yes.
there's like a teardrop that
Teardrop.
I circled of just like, oh my gosh, this is what did I do with my life? And I'm like, I can't leave because what else am I going to do with my
You've
life? And
committed to it.
so I've committed to it and I've told myself I can do it. And so I just had to get through it and
Mm.
just do it. And I go day by day. I kind of told myself I'm going to look forward to the next meal.
Mm.
Like if I just focus on, okay, get through PT this morning and then okay, you get breakfast and you get a shower. Okay, and then whatever we do in between then, like I'm looking forward to lunch. Okay, I ate lunch. Now I get to look forward to dinner. Just like look forward to each meal every single day.
Mm.
And that's like the advice my dad kind of gave me because when he went through boot camp
Right.
for the Coast Guard. So yeah, that's advice he gave me and it worked and it got me through. And then Sundays were always the favorite days too because that's when we got 2 hours of like, okay, everybody go to church and like you relax. And that's when you finally got to talk to people. And so you get about 2 hours of just let's talk and everything. And it was like a good church service, and all the cadre were there, and they like were normal people for 2 hours with us. And so it was kind of nice to get to know them and kind of ask questions about just life in general, about the military. So those were some of my favorite days.
Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that.
Yeah.
You go from that straight into prep school, volleyball. Now you're a Division I athlete, which in and of itself can make or break people real quick.
Hmm.
How was that transition? How have you found being a D1 athlete?
Yeah. At the prep school, there's not a volleyball team there. And so I didn't get to play volleyball for a year. Like, I got recruited to play here, but I don't get to play. And then going through the second basic training and then starting volleyball 3 days after I graduate basic, I lost so much weight in basic. I think I lost 12 to 15 pounds. So I was just like a little runt compared to everybody else when I got in there. So that was pretty hard on my body, just basic, and then you're going straight into like Division I workouts, Division I practices, and like just learning the ropes of school and everything, because it's completely different than college. Like,
Yeah.
there's certain rules and times and stuff like that. And so I think just losing that much weight kind of kicked me in the butt really hard for the first half of season. I
Mm.
didn't really get to gain any weight back. It was really hard to. And then once I did, I started kind of flourishing a little bit more and being able to do what I like did in high school and then some. And so then I got to see some playing time after that freshman year. And then this year I'm in the same spot, right side. I was starting this year. So it's been a journey from the beginning of freshman year, and now this year I kind of took one of the freshmen under my wing, and I'm like,
Mm.
okay, come be my lifting partner and I'll show you the ropes type of thing. I didn't really have that freshman year. So I told myself that any of the new freshmen that come in, I'm going to take at least one of them under my wing and just kind of show them the ropes, because I know I did the prep school, but when I was talking to my mom, I was like, "Mom, it's the academy.
Mm.
This is the real deal. I spent a year trying to get here." So I was like kind of nervous and scared,
Absolutely.
and there wasn't really anybody to kind of show me the ropes. So once I figured it out, I want to be that person for the freshmen and kind of take them under my wing and show them, and have them have that at least one person that they know they can like talk to and ask anything about.
What a journey. And I'm curious,
Mhm.
what have you learned about yourself? Think about high school version of Brooksy and now with each of these milestones in your life and the identity shift. I didn't even realize you didn't get any volleyball at the prep school. I thought
Mhm.
there was still some sort of training, and I'm at like you're there to do that. You're getting through basic training because you're an athlete, because you're on this team, and yet that's removed for you for an
Mhm.
entire year. I gotta imagine you've grown a lot, you've learned a
Yeah.
lot. Knowing you've done a lot of that like introspection and just self discovery. What have you
Mhm.
learned?
I'd say not having volleyball at the prep school taught me a lot about how volleyball is not really like all I am. Because in high school, all I was just school sports, like eat, sleep, repeat. And then not having volleyball there. And then I also broke my leg there. And so I was immobile for a while and just having to rely on other people to help me kinda get through that, because I couldn't really walk, and so I couldn't go carry my tray at lunch, or,
Right.
like, I couldn't go up the stairs to do my laundry or something like that,
Right.
so I had to rely on other people. So that taught me a lot about just trusting other people to do a good job with the things that I need their help with, and so that taught me a lot. And then through the second basic, I kinda learned, like, to take a step back almost and realize not everything's that big of a deal almost, because in my letters and just in general, I would tell my dad, I'm like, "Dad, I do the right thing and I still get yelled at." And then he'd tell me like, "Dude, they're just trying to get to you. It doesn't matter." And I'm like, "You're right. It doesn't matter. Like, I know I did the right thing and they know I did the right thing. It's just their job." And so just taking a step back and realize that the school I go to and like just that kind of lifestyle, it's bigger than me and anything that I do or think. It's like the things I do for other people, or just the things I do in general, are for those around me. You know what I'm saying? And so I learned to kind of take a step back and realize not everything's as serious, but realize the things that are important and like work really hard to do good at those things that are important. And then in the things that aren't as important, kind of like take a step back and don't be so hard on myself for those small little things of, oh, they yell at me just because I did it right. Like, don't beat yourself up over that, because that's not going to do anybody any good.
Mm.
So, I think those were some of my 2 big lessons that I learned.
And now you're studying sociology
Mhm.
and
Um, Behavioral science is my major, and I have a focus in sociology, and I wanted to do something that's kind of STEMmy, kinda not, and that was behavioral science for me because I get to take a neuroscience class or, like, a negotiations class
mm,
next semester, and so I'm excited for those, but and then I'm taking a minor in German,
mm,
so I'm learning to speak German, and then there's this program, it's called C-SLIP at school.
mm.
It's where for summer, they send you over to Germany for 3 weeks, and you just immerse yourself in
No
the
way.
language, and so I applied to go this summer and next summer.
Yeah.
Mhm,
What's the goal beyond graduation? I assume you've got to give some years
mhm,
of service at that
mhm.
point. Are you a lifer in the Air Force?
Yeah.
Is that yet to be determined? Where do you see the future?
My goal is to be a pilot in the Air Force. I don't really know what I wanna fly. The goal is heavies, so it would be like C-17, C-130s, KC-135s. Those are like the cargo planes. So that's the goal, and then I'm required to do 5 years of
Yeah.
service after graduating, and then if I become a pilot, it's a requirement of 10.
Okay.
So my thought is if I do 10 already, I'm halfway there to 20.
Mm.
So just stick out the other 10. I could retire by 43 from the military and then go hop into the commercial airlines and fly for them for however long. And so I'm like, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to
That's it.
travel, I want
Yeah.
to fly. And
Mm.
so that's my goal.
Brooksy, you learned to fly an airplane.
I did.
Share about that.
Yeah. So prep school, there's a programs called Early Path to Wings. I actually have a patch for it right
Yes.
here because I graduated it. Yeah.
For those just listening and not on a video, we've got patches. We've got, my goodness, we've
Yeah.
got lots of show and tell here.
Yeah.
So
So I
good.
earned a patch for it. So it was a 4 to 5 week program where he was a history teacher up on the hill,
Yeah.
but he used to be a pilot. And so he just goes down to the airfield and teaches kids like kind of how to fly. So I hopped in a T-38, and the first day I get there, he pulls out on the runway and we're sitting there and he's like, okay, you have the aircraft, put the throttle in and take off. And I was just sitting there on the runway, just like, oh my gosh, like, and he's
This
like,
is real.
he grabs my hand and
Yeah.
puts my hand on the like throttle and puts my hand on the joystick, and he's like, just go. And he pushes my hand. The plane starts rolling, and I let off the brakes, and then like I pull up, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm flying a plane. Like he just let me do it the first day. He just let me take off, and
Oh
then
my
we were in the
goodness.
air, and it kind of took me a little bit to figure it out of like, okay, kind of be steady. And it was pretty windy that day. So it was like go with the wind. And so I learned how to land. We did touch and goes. I learned how to do, it's called lazy eights, where you're just doing figure eights
Mm.
in the air, and like stalls. Those were the scariest thing ever because you're looking straight up at the sky.
Yeah.
And then my instructor would just cut the power, and then you hear the airplane like shake and beep. And then your airplane just starts to fall and there's no power. And you're like, what do I do?
Mm.
It's like just driving a car. When it starts to go out of control, you kind of just go with it and like put the throttle back in, you just fly the plane. But I thought it was the scariest thing at first. And so it was really fun. I learned a lot, and that piqued my interest in flying because my dad always told me, dude, if you can fly, why not? And
Yes.
so
Yes.
that piqued my interest even more. And I was like, I was kind of good at it too. So like, why not?
And when does a pilot's license come?
So around this time next year, my junior year, we get to put in for our jobs.
Mm.
So it's kind of like a top 10 list of
Yeah.
these jobs that I want to do. And then senior year, I'd get the job and then the base that I'm going to. And then right after that, upon graduation, depending on the timing and everything, I'd go straight into pilot training for however long that takes. And then I'd get the plane that I want to fly and then go from there and fly planes.
Well, gosh, so much to still be written, but so much exciting going
Yeah,
on
for
too.
sure.
That is a perfect segue, actually, to our big three questions. And these ones are brought to us, as always, through the support of the Saxon Success Fund. Saxon Success Fund is a nonprofit organization for those listening for the first time that raises money to invest in our school and our students through capital improvement projects and college scholarships, all with the goal and the purpose to transform South High from one of the best schools in the state to one of the best schools in the nation. And again, we would thank our alumni and community for all their support. If any of our listeners would like to get involved, they can go to saxonsuccessfund.org for more information. So question number one of our big three, Brooksy,
Okay.
knowing where you are today, all that you just explained that you've gone through and all that you're up to, all that you're headed towards, what or who helped you most get to this point?
Definitely my parents. Those are my number one.
I'm not surprised by that answer.
Yeah. Having my dad gone through basic training once and being in the military and being a cop and kind of that lifestyle of you'd be good at this type of thing, just that encouragement from that side. And then also my mom here at school just helping me with classes and again encouraging me and just helping me through like those hard times. And like I know they're just a phone call away, so anytime something at school is really hard or I'm having a really late night having to study for a big exam or something, I usually call one of them and they just talk me down and talk me through it and just put your head down, grind, like we get it, we understand, you can do it and you got this. And then I'm like, okay. And then I say, okay, I got to go bye. And then I get back to doing my thing. And so I kind of got talked down a little bit, but they're like my rock. So it's really good to have them. And then my teachers here from South were a big support. Like Matt Lake D helped do it's called my CFA, like my fitness test to get into the academy. Teachers like Mr. Gilmore, Mr. Knoll, Mr. Rolfness, all them, they all supported me every step of the way and helped write me recommendation letters. And so they helped me out a lot. So
good people for sure.
Good people, definitely.
Question 2, what's one piece of advice you would give your former self?
I'd say kind of back to what I was talking about earlier. Like in high school, I was really hard on myself for every little thing. Just take a step back, focus on what's important and the things that aren't important and the things you can't control. Just brush it off your shoulder and keep going.
That's great advice. Question 3, if you could transform South Salem High School, especially knowing the perspective you have now through the academy, through boot camp, through classes you're taking, the discipline that you live through, being a D1 athlete, all of it, if you could change something about South High or add something here, what would you add? What would you adjust?
I would say I also don't think this is totally a South thing, but just some of the classes that I take at college are a lot harder than anything I ever took here, so I kind of wasn't prepared for them. So if there was just a couple classes at South or just in general things to do like that in like Oregon, then just adding those for those options of like those who know they're gonna go into something like that, just being able to at least try it.
Yeah. What advice would you give? I'm adding a question here, bonus question, for our students who are forces service oriented, they're headed in that direction, whether it's the academies or it's direct into enlistment. What advice do you give them?
I'd say have a why and like remember that through everything, like even just starting, because like even just starting that application process is very hard and scary and you know you're going to go do something hard and it's intimidating. And so know your why of why you're going there beforehand, and then also during those hard things, remember it, because then that'll get you through the hard times. And it like made me think of my parents when I was going through it, and I'm like, okay, they're my why right now. And so then that got me through it. And so just remembering that and having that.
Has your why shifted at all?
Kind of. It used to be, okay, it's for my family, and it still is, but it's also for the people that I've met along the way. Like some of the people that I go to school with are some of like the best friends of my life. And so for those people, they also got added to my why. So
yeah. Talk about the honor, the serving a country, serving the United States of America, wearing that flag on your uniform and knowing that it a lot of schools do that, but for you, it's different. It carries an extra weight. What's that like?
It's kind of intimidating in a way, but it's also so rewarding just knowing that I'm doing something bigger than myself. And for that reason, like I'm gonna do this thing the best I can for you. And it's kind of weird, like at volleyball games, anytime the national anthem plays, we all snap to the position of attention and we stand there. Even if it's like we're looking across from the other team, like we're just staring right at them because we can't move. And they're like looking at us, like kind of whispering, talking about us sometimes. And it's kind of weird that like people, I don't know if they don't understand it, but they just kind of like are like, you guys look a certain way and you like act a certain way.
Right.
And like, I know I came home the first time and even my parents were like, you've changed. Like, you've changed, dude. Like, I think it's really great just knowing that it's bigger than yourself. It means a lot.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Well, let's jump into our rapid fire questions. Okay. These ones are brought to us, as always, by Dr. Corey Bickler, a 2009 graduate, and his Dentistry. At Bickler Dentistry, your experience is comfortable, it's personalized, and it's stress-free. Whether you need a routine cleaning or advanced restorative treatment, the team at Bickler uses the latest technology to keep your smile healthy and confident. Brooksie, what's your favorite all-time TV show or movie?
The Flash.
The Flash. Why?
He's my favorite superhero
Yeah.
since I was a little kid. And when that show came out on Netflix, it was my favorite show.
You were in.
I was
Okay.
in.
Favorite memory or favorite experience you've had so far going through prep school or the academy?
Flying a plane probably is number one, and number two is CST, combat survival training. I got to learn a lot about that kind of stuff, of how to, if your plane is shot down, you're in the middle of nowhere, how do you survive? And I spent a week in the woods with hardly any food, just 3 meals that I had to ration for 7 days, and got to sanitize your own water and just learn how to live off the land and build a shelter and everything. So
Do you have instructors there with you, or
we had
is
one.
it okay?
Yeah, it was a seer that's
Yeah.
like the specialists that have gone through everything, and so we had one of those guys with us and showed us the ropes, showed us what to do, and it was hard. I lost some weight, but I liked it. That kind of stuff I survived it. I thought it was interesting. We did a water survival day, and so yeah, it was really fun.
Okay. Favorite class you ever had in high school?
Sign language.
Sign language. Again, shout out Rolfness and our currently archived class, ASL. We don't offer it anymore.
Really?
Yes, I know. It's tragic.
Well, I'm glad I got to take it then.
Yes.
It was a great class.
Favorite class so far you've taken in college?
Boxing.
Yes.
Yeah, every year each class has to do something different. So the freshmen are required to take boxing. When I go back, I have to take water survival. And then the last 2 years, I have to take combatives. So, but boxing, definitely my favorite.
Boxing. Okay. Favorite spot to eat when you are in Salem? Where's your go-to?
That's a hard one. La Hacienda is a go-to.
Yes, just went there the other night. Favorite place you've traveled so far?
I'd say we went to the Naval Academy this year for volleyball. So we got to go tour the Pentagon, go to Washington, D.C., and I've never been over there before, and so I got to see everything, and that was super cool. And the Naval Academy, oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
Shout outs to anyone else.
Just thanks to my parents and all the people who supported me, and shout out South Salem High School.
There we go. Who else should we interview? What other Saxon grads?
Ooh. Chad Kalot.
Tell me about Chad.
He was a baseball player. He started with men's volleyball, but he joined the Air Force as an enlisted member.
Wow.
So, I'm going to graduate and become an officer. I have no idea where he is, but I just know he's an enlisted member of the Air Force.
That'd be great. Okay, Chad, we're coming for you. What else did you bring today?
Yes. So I brought my letters, and then my mom has this thing in my closet. It has all my patches on it from the prep school. So this was my prep school squadron patch. Colonel Harvey was our prep school exemplar. He was one of the last surviving Tuskegee airmen, and so we chose him as our exemplar, and I got to meet him and shake his hand, and it was a cool experience. And then early path to wings patch, and then prep school patch, and then my graduating year, and just Air Force in my last name.
Will those eventually go on any sort of, uniform, or is that something just those are patches you get to keep?
Those were on my prep school uniform. So every day I wear the flag on my shoulder, and then the prep school patch, I wore that every day, and then the 28 rank goes right here. This is usually where the rank is, so I wore that every day.
Yeah.
And then it's my patrol caps, got my last name on it. I wear this with my OCPs every day. And then the last one is, this was my basic training hat in prep school. So it's signed by all my cadre, has my last name on it. And then you can't wear a hat indoors. So every time you had to go inside, you had to take it off. And then this is a part of my academy uniform. Okay. It's called my A jacket. I wear it with my blues. That's the dress uniform. Right. Your squadron patch goes right here. And then there's my name. This is my one from last year.
Okay. But do you get a new one every year?
No, you only get 2, but you get to upgrade the patches. And so you have your baby squad, which is, mine was fighting fourth. Okay. And you, anytime you hear the word 4, you say fight like hell. It's just a thing that you do. So this is your graduating class. And then I added, it's Levito. That's our exemplar. Pretty sure he jumped on a grenade or something like that. And he got 23 pieces of shrapnel in his body and saved a bunch of lives, and so we chose him as our exemplar. But I added an AF here for, it's like a varsity letter but playing for volleyball, so you get to add that, so that got sewn onto my other one. And then I got a new squadron, so it's called Bull 6. And so my squadron, it's a red patch with a bull in the middle. And anytime you hear the number 6, you say like rage every day, or like this is the symbol that we do. And so there's like squad pride in everything that you do.
Sure.
And the people that you're in squad with. So, but those are all my little show and tell items.
I have to imagine too, and you mentioned it beforehand, the letter posts, that first letter versus the second letter that you have. What are the main differences that you noticed?
Yeah, so this is from the beginning of, the second one, I Day. It says day 0. I'll just read it really quick. So, hi, Mom and Dad. I'm so glad I got to call you and let you know that I'm okay. We got like a 2-minute phone call. Already looking forward to the next one. I'm writing this in my journal. I'll try to be more positive in these letters this year since I know it's probably not easy to read them. But honestly, I don't know which I Day is harder yet. But oh my gosh. So already you can tell the difference between like the first one, what did I do with my life, versus the second one, I got this. Like, you guys know I got this. I'll try and be more positive. It's still going to suck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
you recognize the reality, and yet you're still.
Yeah.
Any circle tears on that one?
No teardrops on this one. No. And it was just 1 page. The last one was like 3. So just a quick writing on this one. And I think I complained about, I put on here, I said, I already miss you both so much, but our squadron commander sent us off of remember your why. And that you guys are a huge part of that why. So even in my first letter, I was like, I got this. I remember. I know what I can do. So, yeah, no teardrops on this one, though.
Okay. Well, Brooksie, we are so grateful for you and so honored to be able to share your story and connect it to our current students. Thank you for your time today. Thanks for being willing to be. Absolutely. Having the unique and sacred, I would say, just lens from being a couple doors down from your mom and getting different stories from here. We've all been cheering you on and sending as many prayers and positive spirits your way. And, but I know, your parent, it, but really from an outsider's perspective, your parents couldn't be more proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
And the stories that we get to hear, highs and lows for sure, but just that, keep it up. Keep up the great work. Keep making us proud of you at South. And thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That does it for our conversation with Brooksie. Thanks so much to Brooksie for jumping on and sharing a bit about her story and all that she's got going on at the Air Force Academy. Thanks, as always, to Matt Cox at Sawstown Properties, to the Saxon Success Fund, and to Bickler Dentistry for their support of these spotlights. And thanks to all of you for tuning in. We hope you have a great week. Catch you next time. Go Saxons.